We are coming to you live indoors from America, right outside the building from Mexico, as Mexican workers are crawling on the exterior of the building right now. So if you hear some bachata or some salsa and some banging, just know that the exterior of this building is now Mexican territory, and the bricks between us and them is the porous border. So if a Mexican comes crashing through this window, just know that he'll be sent up to New York City by bus to live in a sanctuary city in the ongoing war between liberal and conservative states over immigration. This is Longdays. We got a great week of stories for you here today on the news channel that's not news, the delicious mania that has become known as the summer solstice in Scandinavia, baby. It's sunshine all day long and rain all night long. When Yanni's at the helm, he's at the mic. You know what I do. I cheat on Nia Long and I get a year suspension because I'm the head coach of Poos Poos. Kanye West, baby, he's found a way to get himself back into the news. There's only one way to do that in 2022. Go after the Jews. That train's never late, sweetheart. SpaceX, Elon Musk says, you know what? I don't know if I'm footing the bill for Starlinks anymore, and I'm not asking the Pentagon for money for it anymore either. Now, this type of conflict happens all the time between couples that are about to get a divorce. I'm not paying for that. 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 Guess what? We just got to figure out which one is the moneymaker in this couple, and I guarantee you they will end up footing the bill for Starlink, which is the free Wi-Fi for Ukraine. Hey, listen, Ukrainian soldiers got to jerk off to tranny porn too without buffering. I don't know how good the 5G is over there, but definitely you don't want any buffering when you're jerking off to the trans porn. Tulsi Gabbard has switched to the Republican Party. I don't know who could have seen that coming. I thought she already was a Republican. I was surprised to find out she was a Democrat. And her first move after switching from Democrat to Republican was to go on the Joe Rogan podcast. Second move was to call Biden Hitler. So welcome to the Republican Party, Tulsi Gabbard. She's already practicing their most moderate talking points. Netflix is back up. They're back up, guys. The war between Netflix and Andrew Schulz continues. And it looks like Netflix has won Game 6. We'll see what happens in Game 7 between Andrew Schulz and Netflix. Will Netflix be done? Or will they recover and beat back the Mr. Beast Andrew Schulz coalition of user-generated content and photographs? What do they call those? Thumbnails, where everyone looks very surprised. What's up, YouTube? Hold up, thumbnail me. Well, we use them too, because if you can't beat them, join them. This is Longdays, and none of us could beat them. Join them. And by join them, I mean join NATO, Ukraine.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid's screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day. It's a long day.
All right, so here we are, listening to Spanish conversation happening right outside my window by guys who are fixing the bricks on the exterior of the building. We have one Spanish guy in here, Jared Harvin, who can't understand a word of it. Can't understand a word of it. So we have no idea whether they're talking about us or not. They could be. We don't know. There's a language barrier, but we can hear it right through the window. And the thing about Mexicans is, if you hear it, it's just fun. If Jesse turns on his mic, you're definitely going to be able to hear it. You may not be able to hear it through mine, but we can hear it loud and clear. This is exactly what it feels like to live in El Paso.
Yes.
You know, there's people who go into their backyard in El Paso, Texas, and they just hear Micheladas, que se pase mi gente. And they're hearing me right now going, what's going on in there?
Yeah, the studio is now the Alamo.
Yeah. This is really what it feels like to live in a border town of Mexico right now. It's very funny. That must be very funny because there are two very different cultures right down there. I mean, of course, there's a lot of Mexican Americans in Texas, but I'm sure in some of those border towns, you got like some Texas good old boys just right on the border going outside to have their grits in the morning with a black coffee, probably still Sanka. A Sanka and a black coffee and maybe a Best Western pancake that they went into and pretended like they were staying at the hotel to get a free breakfast. And then they came back to their backyard, right? They were probably sitting on a fold-out metal chair. I imagine a lot of backyards on the border of Mexico have a lot of public school fold-out chairs out there. Yeah. If I go to a barbecue in Texas on the Mexican border, I think there's a good chance I'll be sitting on one of those chairs. So there's a good old boy right now somewhere sitting down in the morning to enjoy that breakfast pancake he just stole from a Best Western, and he just hears Mexican chatter 10 yards beyond the brush. And he's going, is that a bobcat? No, that is the Casantos cartel. Warring. And they have wars right there on the border. Look at that right there. It's right those borders, it's hilarious. It's like right two different countries. It's like when you go to Canada and you're up in upstate New York and they're like, you go to like a New Paltz mall and you see some 800-pound American guy walk into the Chinese buffet and then you drive 10 minutes and they're like, bonsoir. And you're like, that's weird. That's a little weird, man. That's a little weird. It's just weird because America's so big, we never think about other countries being on our border. You know? Mm. People in Europe deal with that shit all the time. You know? There's people in France and Paris who wake up every day and there's just a bunch of drunk London stag party guys going like, where are prostitutes? Let's get a pub. Let's get a pub and I would like to get yourself a stag. I would like to get an Algerian prostitute. I heard it's cheaper. And they go, excuse me, Pierre, where are the prostitutes? My buddies here are getting married with a stag party from Liverpool. And the Paris people are going, ugh, please. There's going to be some French terrorists that blow up that fucking English Channel tunnel. Because, there's a 2-hour train that goes from London to Paris. And I bet you the Parisianers were more upset about it than the Londoners. Because you never go to London and see a bunch of French dudes walking around like, where are the prostitutes? They're walking around going, oh, where is the food? There's no food here. But, and what I'm saying is from experience. Because in all those countries, they hate English, like guys who in their 20s, like the soccer fan. There's a type, like that soccer hooligan, prostitute seeking, kind of drunk fucking English guy that goes to Amsterdam. They treat Amsterdam like we treat Vegas or Montreal, right? Like they go there for their stag parties and they're like, let's go red light district after we see a football game. We're here for the football game. And after that, we go get some Algerian prostitutes. And now that the EU's there, they can all just travel freely. So you can travel freely, which is wild. Like if you're a Greek dude, who only speaks Greek, you could just go work in Romania for Andrew Tate, who I guess there's a job opening for holding down girls. There's got to be a money collector. He's got to have some sort of Paul of Tarsus, right? Saul of Tarsus. What was St. Paul's name around you? Saul, his original name? Paul?
Sal.
Who was the tax collector? Paul. Before he became like the messenger of Christianity to Rome. Saul of Tarsus was his name. Better call Saul. Andrew Tate has to have somebody whose job it is to ask these girls for his cut of the money. And I bet it's some Liverpool guy. Excuse me, ladies. Premier Tate wants this money. Did you dance in front of the camera? Well, hit me his brother. Hit me his brother. His brother and him. They're about to get in their Bugattis and they need their money for gas. Why do they talk so fucking stupid? Jared, what's going on with Kanye?
I don't know. I can't speak for Kanye, dog.
Dog, American news is dominated by nuclear war and Kanye West. And then the internet news is the less mainstream for people under 40 is dominated by Andrew Tate. And I love them all. But what's going on with Kanye? First of all, give Kanye credit. The kid knows how. He does what you call a blitzkrieg into the news. He is like the Nazi, he's like the Nazi Air Force. What they used to call those? The Reichstag? What the fuck were they called? You remember their famous like air raids? Blitzkrieging? He blitzkriegs, dog. He does like aerial invasions. He's like the Battle of Crete of page 6. Nobody knows how to get, dude, he just will parachute into all of our lives and we'll just look up and we're like, we're getting invaded by Kanye news. The same way my mother looked up and just saw the sky coated with parachuting Nazis, we just wake up and go, holy shit, Kanye's parachuted into every fucking media outlet. I mean, he is everywhere. Kanye is a newsmaker, dog. Now, it's safe to say that no matter what he says, based on his actions, which is the way anyone should judge anybody. Never judge anybody by what they say. Talk is cheap. Actions are what matter. By his actions, I think it's safe to assume that Kanye's someone who doesn't mind attention. Can we say attention? It's not, it would be safe to say it's one of his top priorities, right? You don't marry the most famous woman in the world because she gets fucked and she's got a fat ass. You don't marry the gossip queen if you don't like attention, right? You know what I'm saying? You could pretend you don't like attention all you want. You don't want people talking about you. But as soon as you're in a relationship with Kim Kardashian, who is, she's like Helena Troy, but she's like Horror of Troy, right? She's like kind of the Helena Troy. Everyone's talking about her, right? She's hot, whatever. She got a lot of plastic surgery, got a big old butt, right? You don't marry her if you don't like attention, correct? So it's safe to say Kanye doesn't mind the spotlight. You know? When Taylor Swift was winning an award for whatever. What was she winning the award for? White Princess of America? I love watching. By the way, when I was we did shows at Soul Joel's.
Yeah.
Shout out Soul Joel's. One of the guys that worked there, who's also like a young comic, went to school with Taylor Swift and her brother. And he showed us pictures of her in his yearbook that he happened to have in his car, which was weird. Which was weird that he had the yearbook in his car.
Yeah.
Does he just carry that around as like a conversation starter?
Yeah.
He waits for it to, he's like, I know people from out of town are coming up. Taylor Swift might come up because she grew up in this area right outside Reading, Pennsylvania. And if it does, I want to seem interesting. He was like, I went to school with her. Let me show you. I have the yearbook in my car. I'm like, why are you carrying around a yearbook from 30 years ago, guy?
If that's your only claim to fame, dog, you shouldn't be doing anything else with your life.
You really shouldn't. You should become a Taylor Swift tour guide. That's what he should do. And then he can use the yearbook like those 9/11 tour guides downtown do. They have like the whole collage of like the towers coming down and they just take tourists around. You could become a Taylor Swift Reading tourist. That's a good business. I can't believe nobody's done that. But like Taylor Swift ate a lollipop right here, and here's right here where she was in music class, and here's right here where her drunk white trash father was good for nothing, was trying to get a job. I mean, Taylor Swift was definitely not made by the government, and that was a good part of why I met him, because I always suspected she might have been made from the government. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's like a gorgeous woman. She's 6 foot or whatever. And she writes her own songs. I'll give her that.
That's straight up pump spice and pierogies.
Yes. I mean, here's the deal about Taylor Swift. She can't sing all that good, and she can't dance all that good. But she writes her own songs, and the songs are pretty good. I've liked a few of them. Come in, where you been? I can show you better than. I mean, she is fumeless. God. I bet you smells like pancakes down there. She's so gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. But it was good that we met that guy because at least we saw some proof of her having a childhood in Pennsylvania, unlike Justin Timberlake and Ryan Gosling and Christina Aguilera, which I'm still convinced were created by the CIA in a petri dish. I'm still convinced. But she's a good old fucking hillbilly from Pennsylvania. She's a Germanic immigrant, like third generation, working class, fucking could have been a Mennonite daughter, churning butter with acne and marrying her cousin. But she got out. Her ticket was a fucking guitar. And she got out. Where you been? I can show you a couple of things. I love watching her dance. I love when she's like, because when you see like a girl like her, like a white girl from Pennsylvania, like her moves, you can see the choreography. Like when Beyonce performs, Beyonce fucking slays. And when Beyonce slays, you can't see any of the choreography. You know, it's just so seamless.
Fluid.
But then when you watch Taylor Swift, she's like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8 and a 9 and a 10 and a 3 and a 4 and a 6 and a 7.
Sometimes it looks like she's just shoveling gravel.
Yeah. Yeah, you can like clearly see it. You can clearly see the turns and like you can see the numbers being counted. You know, 5 and a 6 and 7 and 8. So when Kanye grabbed her mic, you know, and what did he say? He said this, what did he say? He grabbed the mic. He said something about,
I'm going to let you have your moment, but Beyonce had one of the best music videos of all time.
yeah, I'm going to let you have your moment, but I'm going to take your moment. That's right. That's like when someone on the phone says, I'm going to let you go. You know, hey, I'm going to let you go. You're like, you're getting off the phone. You're not letting me go. You want to go. That's exactly what that is. I'm going to let you have your moment, but let me steal it real quick. And then, yeah, there it is. He's a blitzkrieg, dog. Blitzkrieg Kanye. He comes in like the fucking German Luftwaffe. That's what it is. Took me a second. The Luftwaffe. That's what their Air Force was. He comes in. Next thing you know, you look up and you're like, fuck, it's raining Kanye today. So Kanye's now a real Nazi. Kanye's a real one, dog. I don't know. I mean, do you think he went to the Jewish talking point, which is a new one for him? Is this new?
I don't think so.
Has he been talking about the Jews before?
I don't think he's ever dived into that. No.
Oh man. Yeah, it could be new then, right? So is this strategic, or does Kanye really believe in the Jewish the trope of the all consuming business? Let me just say something. If the Jews are like a mafia that controls, I guess now what? So these conspiracy theories really have opened it up. So it's Hollywood. I guess it's the music industry as well. The banks we've already heard about.
The weather.
They control the business of the weather. If they do control it, and they're like, oh, the media too. The media. They control them too. Now, here's the deal. Jews are successful, right? They're in a successful ethnic group, so they're in all these fields and they get into high positions, right? So there's some of them there. There's also a lot of Jews that are not Jews. I'm in entertainment, so I'll tell you straight up. There's a lot of everybody in there. It's not just Jews. And the Jews that you come across, I'm just giving you an insider perspective. They never like push they're not like fucking pushing nobody's pushing Jew on you. Nobody's ever pushed Jew on any. I've never seen a Jew Jews don't even want to push Jew on you if you're not a Jew. You'll be walking around, they go, excuse me, are you Jewish? Right? They never ask you that because it's obvious you're not.
Yes.
Right? But like, I'll be walking down the street. What is that? What's their Palm Sunday? Rosh Hashanah? Whenever they come around and they try to hand you palms.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me too.
Yeah, so what they do, and if you're in Brooklyn, look, I'm just talking to the rest of the country here. They don't have horns. I've checked. Okay? I've gone undercover for you. They don't have horns. Believe it or not, they're just people. They're just people like everybody else. And there's nothing going on. I hate to say, and I've checked. You know how many of my girlfriends were Jews? A lot of them.
Didn't find any horns, but you
Didn't find any horns. Didn't find any horns. Didn't find any secret emails about the weather. And I checked. I went into those phones and I was like, is she talking? Is there some secret thing going on with the weather? None of them even work for the banks. A few of them weren't even that rich. I dated a lot of Jews. Okay? I have relatives who are Jews because I have a cousin who married a Jew. Well, he's half Jew. Just the good half. But they come up to you and they go, on those days, whatever that holiday is, have you found it? No. Whatever the holiday is, they come up, they go, are you Jewish? Hello. Are you Jewish? Right? They go, are you Jewish? Hello. Are you Jewish? And they walk up and you go, no. And then they just walk away. They go like, sorry. We don't want to talk to you. The funny thing about Jews is like they're the only group that doesn't proselytize. They're not trying to recruit more Jews. They have no agenda to push to other Jews. They're not trying to push Judaism on you, right? They're just trying to succeed and like help each other. Guess what? That's what every ethnic group does. The Greeks do it too. I'm sure the Italians to a certain extent, especially when they were trying to make it, I'm sure they did it too. I bet you the Arabs do that. I bet you the Koreans do that. How do you think they got in all the grocery stores? How do you think the Greeks took control of the diner? Now, if a diner was a more important thing that made a lot more money, I bet you there'd be conspiracy theories about the Greeks. It's just nobody cares about cheeseburgers deluxe that much. The only people who would formulate those conspiracy theories are too drunk to think because they go into the diner at 24 hours at 2 in the morning and nobody ever sits around and goes, hey, man, how come all the fucking Greeks got diners? I'll tell you how. Because they helped each other out. That happens. That's something that happens with immigrants, right? They come and they're like, they send for their brother, they send for their cousin. Yeah, oh, you're Greek? Come here, this is my brother, he's a Greek. So we start a business, I take him waiter. Come and work for me. You make us happen. You Stavros, come working for me. He make us, get rid of him. He's a Mexican, get out here. We don't need him. We're making Greeks with the eggs here. Okay? My wife's behind it's all Greeks. The Greek is, my wife is behind the counter. The dog is here. I have my eyes on everybody. Greeks are paranoid. That's why you have to walk. You ever notice in a Greek diner, you can't just hand the check to the waiter. You have to walk it up to the cash register to like an 89-year-old Greek man who's still working and hand the money directly to him because they're paranoid. And then what you can take is a fucking dirty mint that has COVID on it. Everyone's hand just goes in there and it tastes like Crest toothpaste.
And a wet toothpick.
It's disgusting in a toothpick. Thank you very much. Yo, NBA fans, I am so excited the NBA is back. My favorite sport, basketball, is back. Tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, my friends, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. You know this language, my friend. You're a gambler. You know what I'm talking about. If you're looking to get into it, trust me, that's a good deal. They get you started. They help get you started. So check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings Stepped Up Same Game Parlays. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place a Stepped Up Same Game Parlay today. With payouts bigger than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is where I go to bet on the NBA. I got it on my phone, and that's where I place my bets. It's always fun when it's a little bit funner when you got a little juice on the game.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Let's be honest, a lot funner. It's a lot funner when you put a little fun juice on the game. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use my promo code FUMES. Make any $5 bet this week. Not a lot. That's good for starters. And get $200 in free bets if your team wins. That's pretty simple, dog. Put $5 in, right? You get $5 in, you pick them. If you win, then you get $200 in free bets. That's free money you can continue to bet with and win more. You know what I'm saying? Very simple. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code FUMES. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Guys, I am very enthusiastic about this sponsor, this company. I lie to you not, dog. I have a weird shaped body that has a lot of fat in my belly, but I'm also kind of jacked up top. I don't know what technology they use in the shirt. I swear to God, I'm telling you the truth. They sent me a bunch of these shirts. I love to wear t-shirts. I'm a t-shirt guy. I throw a chain on and it's like a tuxedo for me. And these are the t-shirts I will be wearing from now on because they figured something out somehow with the technology, the spandex or whatever they put in there, that it fits your body. So like you look jacked and then you don't look fat. I don't know how they did it, but it fits. It like fits to your body in a perfect way where it's a little looser around the gut. It's incredible. They sent me a bunch and I'm hooked because that's what I wear. So you got to try these shirts right now. True classic. Everyone's a t-shirt wearing guy. These are the best. And I've tried them all. I've gone through all of them. I get them. I don't want to mention other names in this ad, but like I'll try every t-shirt. I've gone to all the stores, and that's my thing, is to try t-shirts to see which ones look good on me, because I'm in between a large and an extra large. It's a very tough place to be. I have to try on t-shirts. If you're a person who has that struggle like me, get these. I'm an XL, dog. So look at me. I'm 6 foot. I'm 220 pounds. If you're in that area, all right, and it's not all muscle, even though I look good above the table, you also see me in the Patreon episodes. You see what's really going on. And True Classic makes me look good. So get 25% off at trueclassic.com with the promo code FUMES, with free shipping included on purchases over $100, which you will do, because you should get a few. That's 25% off at trueclassic.com with the promo code FUMES. Strengthen your core wardrobe with True Classic today. True Classic, look good and feel good. And I mean it. I wear them. I think it was a little interesting that 2 episodes ago I was talking about how everyone's kind of become humorless, like America, and this quest to be famous and the sale, you know, that these grifters sell people. Very entertaining grifters who I support. So, you know, they're trying to sell everyone on being rich and famous and all that, as if that's not something that happens because you already have something in you and you want to, or that's some sort of key to happiness that's being sold. When, listen, I know plenty of people who are rich and famous, and none of those things lead to happiness. You know, I think the focus, I don't want to sound like a socialist, but I am trying to get on the Young Turks podcast. What's the popular Young Turk, the muscular one, the young one? They're Turkish too. Have a Greek on to show you that you're progressive. The big tall one, the fucking strong one. Anyway.
Not Hassan, no.
Hassan Piker.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I believe what makes people happy is, you know, the company they keep, the hobbies they have, the life they live, their family, and some fucking security. Some security with healthcare and good education. You know, we've really lost our concentration on the middle. So that's where these grifters have come in and sold everyone this pie in the sky dream of becoming a millionaire as a cure-all for everything, when even if you achieve it, it's not. So that's the way I look at that. That's the way I see that. You know, that's what I believe is going on right now. And we had that episode a couple weeks ago. I was talking about how a humorless culture can lead to fascism in sort of a dark place. And then 2 weeks later, old Kanye pops up, taking us back to the 30s, baby. I mean, it's like watching a silent film. I mean, he really took us back. I mean, he went straight in. And you know what's funny is, like, all the stuff that's going on, and then he's just like, the Jews, and you're going like, Chris Rock, that train's never late. So out of left field, he just starts going against the Jews. Right? And what was his initial complaint? I've been so blitzkrieg by Kanye. Why is he back in the news again? What was the first thing he did? Because then he built to the Jews.
I believe he said he was going to go DEFCON 3
on the Jews.
On the Jews, because they would be the only ones to, because I believe it started with Kim released a story that how her and Pete had sex in front of their fireplace. Because her grandmother said that she used to do that. And that story got leaked. And Kanye was like, oh, it's only the Jewish people that would say that for a white woman or a Christian mother with 4 black children. It would only be the Jews to lead her to say something like that. So he was like, oh, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on the Jews, which doesn't even make sense. And
Kim Kardashian's not Jewish. She's Armenian.
No, but he said the Jewish people encouraged her to say a story like that, a Christian woman with 4 black children, and putting out a negative image of a black children's mother out there in the world.
Okay, well, that part's true.
He's talking about the media? Is that what he's saying?
I don't know, but listen, that part, I didn't know that part. That part's true, because let me tell you, as someone who has dated a lot of Jewish women and is from Brooklyn, New York, where I've been around a lot of Jews, in my house, there's a curtain. You pull it back, and there's just a Jew there. That part's true. And whenever I'm about to have sex with my wife, they go, Bubby, not in the bed. Moving into the living room by the fireplace. This is an old Torah secret. That's the way the Jewish occult does it, Bubby. Bubby, when you do that, that makes Yahweh very happy, and Yahweh shines upon us. So therefore, when Yahweh sends the Messiah back, then we will enslave. We will thereby enslave all the Gentiles all over the world, Bubby. But you have to have sex by the fireplace. And it also has to be with he whose name won't be mentioned. That's very funny that he's creating a devil's advocate scene in the living room. Yeah, man, that Kardashian pussy just makes people go crazy, dog. It pushes everyone over the top.
Crazy.
Everyone sort of loses it a little bit.
Monster Energy drink of vagina.
But before... Yeah. Now, but before that, right, Jared Harvin, he was in the news a little bit before that. This was an escalation because I remember he kind of blitzkrieged in again before that, right? What was the first blitzkrieg? The first round of attacks. It wasn't, the Jew was like a follow-up tweet, but he had already pushed himself into the news, right?
Yeah, he was doing a podcast called Drink Champs.
But that was after when he was ranting about the Jews. What was his first initial complaint that put him in?
I thought it was the Jews.
Now, there was like one first round where he warmed us up. He gave us a jab. He was staying on the outside. He was jabbing us a little bit. And then the late night Jew tweet was like a knockout punch.
Yeah, he pulled out of Gap and Adidas. He pulled his artistry out of there, the collaboration, because they felt
it was the White Lives Matter shirt.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what it was.
yeah,
The
yeah,
first
yeah.
thing was the White Lives Matter shirt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I tend to erase things like that from my mind.
It was the White Lives Matter shirt was the first.
Oh, yeah.
Those were the jabs. See, he's like a boxer. He was working the outside. He's working the outside. Jab, keeping the distance, right? Then he counterpunched with the big late night Jew tweet.
Yeah.
Where he says, when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 of the Jews. I wanted to say, dog, I think you already did write that tweet. And then Michael Rappaport, of course, gets to make his video. Fucking kooky Kanye. Let me fucking tell you. So it went from White Lives Matter to the Jews. Now, you're a young black man in America. Mm-hmm. What is going on with Kanye? What's going on? Talk to me about Kanye.
I think
What do you think he's doing?
Kanye is too much of a genius to be labeled as crazy. That's what's going on here.
I do love his music.
His music is great, but his ideas are so good. I've never seen a crazy person produce so many viral, mind-bending, social media shutting down ideas in my life. The only crazy people that I truly know in my life shit in their own hand and paint it on their own wall. But he comes up with shoes, multi-million-dollar deals. He gets attention. This is not crazy Kanye. This is a coordinated Kanye.
Because even when he creates like those people tire shoes, which we've had a little bit of fun on here, they still get everyone talking.
It doesn't make sense, but it still gets people talking. It's like when you see an Asian person using an umbrella during the daytime.
It doesn't make sense, but you do talk about it when you walk by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So you think there's a little method behind the madness?
There's a little method. There's a little, narcissism in there. There's a lack of attention. You saw that go hard after he broke up with Kim, and he had the Pete thing, and pulling up to SNL and threatening. He was always in the news, always there, and that's why I think he had a little bit of a admiration for Trump, because Trump had that thing. He was like always in the news, always there, no matter what he was saying. So I think this is just like, I don't know. I think he was a little lonely. He was like, I'll pull out the Jew card.
Yeah.
His life is about to crumble like matzah.
Yeah, there's no coming back from this.
No, there's no.
Yeah,
coming
it's
back.
tough coming back from this one. Yeah, that aside, who knows what the future holds for him? I mean, I guess they could welcome him with wide arms in Ukraine because that place is crawling with Nazis. And Russia's just, it's full of Antifa. Here's my vision. Let me predict. Nobody sees this coming, but what if this happens? Putin, who's on a quest to denazify Ukraine. Okay? What if Kanye, or should I say the artist formerly known as Kanye, now known as Ye, which is short for Jesus Christ. what is going on with your ego when you name yourself Jesus Christ or Charlemagne the God? I just wanted to point those two out. Just call me Alexander the Great. That's going to be my new nickname is Yanni the Great. What if Jesus Christ knows what he's doing? He's so genius and brilliant. Again, not to disagree with what you say, but I think this does speak to our bar of what genius is. Okay? I think they got a different measure in other countries now, you know? I think in China, maybe they say, hey, this guy that designed this building or this guy that cured this thing, he might be a genius. We're over here calling Yeezy a genius. We're over here calling Gary Vee a genius. Very entertaining, and I support it.
He's got a big brain, though. His hair can't even keep up.
Yeah. But what if Jesus is a genius and Jesus Christ is doing this to distract Putin on his mission to denazify, right? And he's going like, I'm over here. You know, it's like when someone sacrifices themselves for the group. You ever seen The Departed?
Yeah.
Right? When Martin Short's character goes, any of you mugs got a light? And he's distracting, giving himself up, sacrificing himself so Leonardo DiCaprio can run away and go, I can't fucking do this anymore. And then do a hot scene where he flexes on purpose when he fucks that girl in the apartment. And girls go, Leo's hot, but I only like him in The Departed, which is a crazy thing women say, as if they wouldn't fucking drop their panties for Leo D. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. What if he's sacrificing himself, as Jesus Christ does, for us, and going to the bad man, I'm over here, you Nazis over here, Putin, come denazify me. That's the subtext of this whole thing. Putin redirects his energy from his pure moral denazifying conquest mission in Ukraine, which is the reason why he's there. And he focuses all that denazifying energy on Kanye and frees the Ukraine and saves us from nuclear holocaust. And that's the story, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of the Bible according to Jesus Christ.
Not the hero you want, he's the hero you need.
He's the hero you need. He's like Batman. And I always something wrong. Great song.
Yeah.
Putting up with my shit for way too long. Gifted when I did the most. I want Taylor Swift and Kanye to get together.
What type of way?
I want them to fuck by the fireplace and make the Antichrist. As it says in the Torah. According to the Torah. The Torah says, Baruch Adonai Melech Eloheinu, and then unto the day when Taylor Swift and Kanye, now known as Jesus Christ, they went into a fireplace in Reading, Pennsylvania, and they copulated and made the Antichrist, for which the Jews rose up and crushed all the Gentiles back into the Stone Age. Long live Israel! Yeah, and then the leader of the YouTube, Andrew Schulz, rolls up and he came with Mr. Beast and they started a gay relationship by a fireplace, and Netflix was crushed into the Stone Age, as it says in the Torah. And Tulsi Gabbard switched political parties and walked into the sunshine and went elk hunting with Joe Rogan, and they made the perfect Republican who claims to be Democratic to not get too extreme, and it was said that the Jews crushed the Gentiles into the Stone Age. Or I should say Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Rogan walked hand in hand during an elk hunting excursion in the wildlands of Texas, where they were shooting wild pigs from a helicopter. And so it was said in the Torah that the liberal sanctuary cities were flooded with undocumented immigrants, and they were crushed by the flood of God's wrath. And the Republican, abortion-hating, pro-life Republicans rose up and crushed. The Gentiles of the coastal elites were crushed. After they had sex by the fireplace in Joe Rogan's mansion on the lake. I'm telling you, Doug, maybe this is all biblical. Maybe this is the great reset of Yahweh. We're in some cookie times, and I emphasize IE in that word, because if you try to shorten it, it's a slur. I don't remember who it's against. Kook? Oh, no. You got to take the O out and put an I. Is kook not a slur? Oh, kook is close. You take the O out, you put an I, you have a slur. You take the K out, and you put a G, you also have a slur. Kook is one letter away. It's a real tightrope walk of a word, but it's safe. Kook is like when you're playing, that kid is a game. What is it? I'm on base, running bases, or kick the can. You're like, I'm on base, dog. I said kook. I didn't say and I didn't say good.
It's the AAA of slurs.
Yeah, close. So who knows? So what happens with Kanye? Maybe he saves the world here. There's no album on the horizon.
I don't think so.
He's buying Parler now. So he's buying Parler. That's what he's doing. He's buying Parler. All these social media companies are being bought up by these right-wing champions. Elon Musk's deal with Twitter is going through, right? He's buying it. I think that this speaks to the greatness of America in some way, and also the greatness of the comedy that is reality that the simulators probably enjoy, that Kanye West will end up owning the social media site that will probably have the N-word said the most on it. The irony of that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That shows some sort of greatness. That the platform that will probably end up having the most racial slurs in earnest racial slurs will be owned by a minority. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that says something.
Fox News was started by a black man.
Was it?
Yeah.
Roger Ailes was black?
We can look that up.
Yeah.
I read that somewhere.
Was it? It
think-
might have been.
I think it was.
Okay. We'll find out at the end of the episode when Jesse finishes Googling it. Guys, BonCharge is a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence-based products to optimize your life in every way. It's founded on science and inspired by nature. It's combined the best of Eastern philosophy and Western philosophy. BonCharge products adopt ancestral ways of living in our modern day world. So there's a little spirituality and wellness, but also efficiency of the West combined into one. Their extensive range of premium wellness products help you sleep better, perform better, have more energy, recover faster, balance hormones, reduce inflammation. The list is endless. We know all about this stuff in the modern world. It's all about reducing inflammation. Most of your problems is inflammation. Most of your problems is that you don't got blue light glasses on. Okay? I love these things they sent me. They're blue light glasses. They also got red light therapy, EMF management, and circadian-friendly lighting. BonCharge products help you naturally address the issues of the modern day life. They make it effortless and with maximum impact. So, yeah, they got these computer glasses. All we do is stare at screens all day, and it's ruining our fucking eyes. So you get headaches, you get sore eyes, it dries them up. They're saying kids now are being born with by the time they're young, not being born with, but by the time they're young, they get like dry eyes because all they do is stare at the screens, which is very bad for you, the eye strain. And so they got these computer glasses with clear lenses, which are good. They got light sensitivity glasses with these yellow lenses that are great. And then, of course, the blue light blocking glasses that help with for poor sleep, fatigue, low energy, jet, looking at computers with the light sensitivity glasses and those clear glasses. So really it's helped me. But when I'm at home and I'm on the computer for hours and hours and hours, I put the glasses on and they're great. Okay. The glasses come in non-prescription, prescription, and reading options. And like I said, they got the computer glasses and glasses for your every need. Light sensitivity glasses for helping with low mood and migraines, and blue light blocking glasses for improving your sleeping. Just pop those puppies on as you're winding down, and boom, you sleep like a puppy baby, like a baby puppy. BonCharge also has other amazing products such as low blue light bulbs, red light therapy devices, EMF 5G protection, and 100% blackout sleep masks. They send me one of those things, and I'm telling you, Bubbas, after I take a little CBD with a little melanin, you pop that thing off, you're gone. You are gone. All backed by science. So BonCharge ships everywhere, worldwide, in rapid time. Easy returns and exchanges. If you don't like something or something doesn't fit your face or whatever it is, they make it very easy. So go to boncharge.com/fumes right now. Use the coupon code FUMES and you will save 20%. That's 20% off your sales. Whatever you buy, 20% off. That's boncharge.com. BONCHARGE.com/fumes. Use the code FUMES. Get that 20% off. Go get yourself some of these products, man. They will really make you happy. So that Steele dossier, as Jesse Googles, the Steele dossier ended up being like completely false. You remember the Steele dossier? The Steele dossier, that was a real colorful dossier. First of all, it brought the word dossier back into the American lexicon. It's a cool word.
I thought that was a French agent.
Yeah. Well, it could just be a report. You could have called it a report, an intelligence report. But report doesn't have that same cachet. Mm-hmm. What's in a name, Shakespeare said? There's a lot. Certain names grab you. I'm no Edward Bernays. But certain things grab you, We're the news that not news. Come cheat on your beliefs with the delicious maniac. We're trying. We're not succeeding at it, but we're trying. I saw some podcast descriptions that really knocked it out of the park. And because we're trying to get better at marketing, or at least I am, I took a screenshot of it. Okay, because I bet you this podcast is dog shit. But they look like they're very popular. And look at their description. Explore this person and this person, explore conspiracies, conundrums, and the dark corners of the deep web. Turn on, tune in, drop out. I'm curious. I want to get in. We need to figure something out like that out. Like a good, what would Kanye West do? Should we just say we get into what the Jews are up to? Mm-hmm. I mean, people will listen. It's a choice. It's a hard choice. But, we'll get a fan base. In this saturated climate and landscape of content, we will definitely rise above the noise with that marketing byline. Mm-hmm. We get in, tune in. Yannis Pappas, Jared Harvard, and Jesse Couture delve deep in what the Jews are up to. And it's definitely Fireplace related.
Yeah. Our numbers would definitely rise.
Yeah, it would rise, right?
It would rise, but unfortunately, some of our fan base's right hands will rise too.
Is it the right hand that goes up?
I think so.
Now, do you think he did this? So you're thinking part of this, was this part of his plan to it's very hard to get attention now, right? If Kanye's here's the deal. If you love attention, if your thing is attention, if you've monetized attention, you've made yourself a star like that, it's very hard to just get attention not being crazy now because of the sheer amount of content out there. There's just so much noise. The news is now content. Everyone's making content. Everyone is on steroids in the sense that they're all kind of editorializing to get attention. It's like this, that's the media steroids, lying and using hyperbole and being divisive. That's the steroids for journalists and the media. That's how they get attention. That's how they get their numbers up. It's a home run race now between all these companies. We're all watching. It's brought the media back. People love it. The Gap advertises on their fucking tweets, on their blogs, on their sites. It gets the numbers up, right? So in this climate where everyone is in some way kind of doing what Kanye's doing right now, is kind of doing what he's doing, Is he raising the stakes, going to DEFCON 3 Jews because in some calculated way, like you've explained, to get attention? Because is that kind of the only way to get that level of attention, which is the bottom floor standard for Kanye? Because when Kanye gets attention, he don't want that regular attention.
No.
Kanye don't want that I'm dropping an album attention going, oh yeah, by the way, Kanye's dropping. He don't want that. He wants everyone making content about him, everyone talking about him. He wants that, right?
Yeah.
So do you think this was just in some way a narcissistic, calculated ploy to just get people to talk about him?
Yeah. Kanye's crazy has Kevin Hart's work ethic.
That's a very good quote.
It's like, what's next?
Yeah.
How could I do this bigger?
Yes.
I did the Eagle Stadium. I did the O2. I cheated on my wife. Now we just got to take it to calling out the Jews.
Right. I've already nicknamed myself Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And people are over that.
Yeah.
And that got a lot of attention.
You know, although I do think Kanye is going through some real things, like I think there's real concerns over his children, you know, and his personal life and that getting intertwined. He's just like the prototypical, this is what we like.
Well, you know, there's an old expression that goes, hey, dog, you made your bed. Now you got to sleep in it.
Yes.
I mean, that's the problem when you surround yourself with yes men or you're a fucking idiot. You know, your ego tells you can do nothing wrong. It's like, dude, if you get into a relationship with Kim Kardashian, what are the chances that the two of you are sitting after a 40-year relationship in rocking chairs drinking sweet tea? What are the chances of that? I'll tell you what the chances are. 0%. It's a donut, baby. It's a donut in a cop's fucking patrol car sitting on the side of a fucking highway pretending to see if people are speeding. It's a 0% chance. So fucking sleep in your bed, dickhead. You married fucking Kim Kardashian and had probably surrogate kids with them. There's no way she carried those babies.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck, man? Everyone wants their fucking cake and eat it too. There's consequences. You want your relationship to be steady and sturdy, and you want your kids to have a normal life and then go marry a good girl.
Yeah.
Go marry a good girl who, guess what, maybe a little boring. Maybe a girl who doesn't have a reality show, whose father isn't also her mother.
Yes.
Maybe that's a start.
And maybe she yells at you for going up the steps from your basement when you get a Brooklyn Cannery.
Yeah, maybe when you go home when you introduce your family to her family, you don't go, that's her dad, who's also now her mom. And that's also her mom. And that one, we're not sure, but that one probably is O.J. Simpson's. And between the three of these aunts of my kids, there's only one real ass to go around. Maybe that's a good start. Because Kendall, I think, is the only one who still's got a real ass.
Yes.
Maybe that's a start. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's a start. You don't marry a girl who started her career getting purposefully fucked on camera, which there's speculation that her mom said this would be a good move. Hollywood is a sick place, dog. Don't get it twisted. It's a sick place.
Yeah.
I mean, the narcissism is what fuels it. Ego and narcissism is what is the impetus for your success in that town.
Good word.
Yeah, and those are sins. Those are sins, Kanye. You have sinned. So, I mean, now you're surprised when the check comes? And listen, the check always comes. The check always comes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so any of those, whatever real problems he's going through, I'm sure his $500 million will help him out. You know? He does seem to be drinking a little bit, though, because he has that, like, puffy, reddish drinker's complexion. Like, he's all puffy, and, like, he was hammered on that podcast, right? Who did he do? Nori's podcast?
Yeah, Drink Champs.
Nori, the rapper Nori? Mm-hmm. Like, whoa. No, that was Black Rob. What was Nori's big hit?
Capone,
early 2000s.
Was it Capone and Noriega?
Yeah.
We got those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drink Champs.
Dog, rappers love naming themselves after the most horrendous people. Even Machine Gun Kelly. Like, you do know that was a criminal, right? Capone. Mm-hmm. Noriega.
Songs about him. Sly Green and Buffalo.
Noriega. When is the rapper Jeffrey Dahmer going to put out his first LP? I can't believe there's not a rapper named Adolf Hitler yet.
Yeah,
Yo, what's up? This is Stalin and Adolf. We're coming at you right now with our mixtape.
You don't remember Adolf?
Was there an Adolf?
Yeah, it was Adolf. It was 8 off.
Oh, Adolf.
Yeah.
They love the worst people. I mean, Al Capone was just a bad dude. Machine Gun Kelly was also not a great guy. These are criminals. They were murderers.
There was an old rapper named Necrophiliac.
Necrophiliac. That's someone who fucks dead bodies. That's close to. Yeah, dog. I miss those like very pure rap names, like Ice-T. Would you like a nice iced tea or Ice Cube? Everyone likes a cold drink.
Yeah.
Everyone likes a little Ice Cube in their scotch.
Yeah, nice names, but long criminal records.
Yeah. Or how about Eminem? Who likes a nice Eminem? Nice name. How about Big Daddy Kane? Everyone likes a cane. Thinks of candy canes. Big L. Hey, it's Big L. Cool G Rap. Good name. Nice and smooth. Everyone likes when something goes down nice and smooth.
Fat Joe, body positive.
Yeah, body positive Fat Joe. Big L. These were all good names. Third base. Ooh, that means you fingered the girl. And then it changed. Then it got into like, even Snoop Dogg. Oh, everyone loved Snoopy. It was Snoop. Then we got into Capone, Noriega, Necrophiliac, 8 Off, Machine Gun Kelly. You know? Everyone went extreme. Maybe this is the tattoos on your face of social media content. Maybe we're in that phase too, right? Everyone's tattooing up their face for attention. And sometimes people tweet DEFCON 3 on the Jews. This is basically a proverbial tattoo on Kanye's face, right? It's like getting attention. Because I agree with Jared. I just can't think he's laying there tweeting that, not thinking it's going to be massive news when he wakes up. Like, he's not that unaware, you know? But he does seem like he has megalomania. He seems like he has like the people who have megalomania are like borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, psychopaths, sociopaths, asocial types. He's definitely a megalomaniac. He runs around calling himself. Look, like I was joking. He's musically he's great. His music is great, but he's not like, you know, there's a lot of guys who are great. You know, he's not like he's Kanye. It's like some songs are great, some songs I'm not so into. You know what I mean? But in his own mind, I think he's the Shakespeare of this shit. He's the Steve Jobs of it. How, Sway? What am I supposed to do, Sway? I'm already a genius. I'm the Machiavelli. I am the Michelangelo. I am the Steve Jobs. I am the Shakespeare, Sway. He's a humble guy. So the Steele Dossier, back to the Steele Dossier. The Steele Dossier, that was a fun dossier. Not a report. It was a dossier in which I think that was where they said that the Russians had influence over Trump and he was their puppet because some prostitutes had peed on him in a hotel. Which obviously now I think it's been proven is based on false information, right? Now this guy got off, right? The FBI has concluded that like 80% of the dossier is bullshit. And the primary source for that dossier, what was his name again? He got off today or this week, right? When you're hearing this, it was this week. Igor Danchenko, which sounds like, is that Ukrainian? Lumenchenko, right? The boxer. There's a boxer with that name who's Ukrainian. Not that name, but that type of name.
He's Russian.
He's Russian. And he was acquitted. 4 counts of lying to the FBI in an embarrassing defeat for Special Counsel John Durham. Yeah, I mean, Durham has taken 2 cases to trial, and both have ended in acquittals. After more than 3 years looking for misconduct in the FBI's Trump-Russia probes, Durham has only secured 1 conviction, the guilty pleas of a low-level FBI lawyer who got just probation. The jury returned not guilty verdicts on all charges against Danchenko, a Russian expat and think tank analyst who provided the bulk of the material for the anti-Trump dossier, which there was rumors that Hillary Clinton, right, kind of had her hand in this somehow.
Yeah.
Her campaign.
Yeah, that's right. She funded it through some other organization to do opposition research or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to see that one side easily gets off while the other side has their feet held to the fire. I mean, how is this guy acquitted? And then I love how this article is putting it on John Durham. This seems like something bigger. They're just going like, hey, man, he was trying to get Trump. Just put him away. Yeah, it's just let it. You know, it's like, why was he not prosecuted? That Steele dossier was like, became the ground zero, the nucleus for all of these theories on how Trump was colluding with Russia, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it really the nucleus of it?
Yeah, of course. Russiagate, remember that? It was on all the news.
And it's now being told to us that that is all bullshit. That he didn't pee on any hookers, which I'll be honest. If I was a betting man and it was on a betting app, if FanDuel's put it up, I'd still put him a little money that he has peed on a hooker at some point. So I don't know about that. But at least he didn't do it in Russia, and there was no cameras who caught him, and they were holding that over his head. Which, you know what? That's the thing is Trump would care. He go, yeah, I peed on. Remember when he got caught with the grabby pussy? He's like, yeah. He's like, I've grabbed a few. Who hasn't? It wouldn't have ruined him to pee on the hooker thing, you know? Because people now are starting to act very humorless in that those trends you're starting to see where people, it's like cult of personality. They start to follow the person. And in that, I think is very dangerous because I think the whole point of America is that the rule of law and the system are more important than the leader. We've seen where that leader shit goes when you follow a particular person. That's why we have term limits, which I personally agree with. I think all these things, the system we created here is because we looked at the history of humanity and we've seen where everything leads, you know, and we're going, oh, that's bad for this reason. Here's the example of that again and again and again and again. And we created this system of checks and balances with a tricameral power structure, a legislative, judicial, and executive branch that share power but act as a buffer on each one being a runaway power, and then term limits, which acts as a buffer against autocracy, separation of church and state, which acts as a buffer against theocracy. We've seen where that goes. We've seen where all these things lead, and they're not good. And now you have people who will like die for Trump as a leader, who totally excused January 6th. What? It was a party that got out of hand. It's like, nah, that was a little bit more than a party. I mean, it wasn't the Holocaust, but it was a little bit more than a little raucous party. You know, they fucking jumped into the Capitol building. You know, some of them were probably just there like enthusiastically, but there was a few of them that had some zip ties in their pocket. There was a few of them that wanted to do some damage. And now you have this. And then you got these people who deify AOC just the same as people who deify Gary Vee. And I wasn't shitting on Gary Vee as a human. I got nothing personal, like I said. It's just I'm shitting on the deification. That's what I'm really shitting on. I'm not shitting on Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is very entertaining. I bet you if I sat down with Andrew Tate, first of all, I would do it for the numbers. Secondly, I bet you he's a really nice guy. I bet you that's not even him. I know it's bullshit. I know he's fucking entertaining. You know, the concern is you got 12-year-olds who watch it, right? And then they go into school and go, you're my property, bitch. I get that too. But for me as an adult, I'm going, I love Andrew Tate. I love the Paul brothers. The Paul brothers, they're fucking good, actually. They don't say shit compared to fucking Andrew Tate. But the point is, it's the deification of these people is very un-American. There's something. Even the people that deified Fauci or the ones that made him the devil. I mean, he was just a fucking guy who was maybe doing some corrupt shit, maybe not, probably just was behind it, like didn't understand it and made some mistakes like everybody else. But we fucking, this thing has happened in this country where people are either Hitler or not. We've gotten to this thing now. She's calling Biden Hitler. Is he Hitler? Are people going in ovens? Is he trying to expand the borders of America? Can we stop calling people Hitler? There's only one Hitler, and it's Amy Schumer. No, Tulsi, he's not Hitler. Okay? All right. She even wears these like fucking arena preacher white suits with the little fucking Elvira streak in her hair, and she's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
I would watch her do yoga. That was my point. I think I could have made that point better 2 episodes ago, but that was really my point. Is it's like, and that speaks to the loss of the sense of humor, is that, you know, because these people are deified, when you make jokes about them, people react with ire, you know, and that's not a good sign. I don't think that's a good sign. I don't think that's a good sign at all. You know, at the end of the day, rule of law, the separation of church and state, you know, term limits, they're really our only hope, dog, for freedom and justice. They really are. There's no other way. Yeah, do we have flaws? Yeah, is there corruption? Yeah. But you have to keep striving to uphold the rule of law. The rule of law are people have these rights and nobody's above the law, and we're all serving the law, and the law is based on reason and common law, and that common law is based on reason, and you amend and you amend and you amend based on reason, logic and reason. Very important. I hope we don't lose sight of that, and I feel it slipping out of our hands. You feel it slipping. Democracy is a very tenuous thing. It didn't last long in previous examples. But here it's become, you know, it seems it's feeling very tenuous, precarious, you know? And I don't know, maybe it's inevitable. But that's my personal opinion. I will give that away. I'll take a moment and stop being a satirist and a goofball and just say, as the son of someone who was a very difficult person, but that's what I was taught. That's what I was taught growing up, was that there's something very important about upholding rule of law. You know, that's the standard. And when that starts to slip, and that's what my mom used to tell me, is what international law was so hard to enforce was because of culture. I remember she always told me that, and I was like, yeah, it's a tough thing. But, you know, if we don't come up with some universal standard that applies to everybody, we're fucked. We're fucked. Because that's it. That's the only thing that keeps this shit together, you know? And everyone should have their turn at power, and then they give it up willingly. You know? And you know, it's rough, you know? It's rough that you see people like vehemently defending someone who wants to hold on to it. That's rough, you know? When there's no evidence, you know, on any large scale, you're going like, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. And then you have shit like this where this guy gets off from creating this fucking dossier that dominated the news, and you're like, that's a bad sign too. This is starting to feel like power has more rule than law. Who's in power? Cult of personality is starting to have more influence than law. How did this fucking guy get off? Politics aside. How? I don't understand. I don't fucking understand. Whether you're a fan of Trump or not, it's besides the point. And it should be besides the point, but unfortunately, it's not. You know? Unfortunately, I'm sure the people that hate Trump don't care about this when they should. Even though they hate Trump, they should care about this, because this speaks to fucking rule of law. God damn it, I got to get back to the funny. People don't like reality. They like what I was fucking talking about, the goddamn fireplace. Durham said in a statement, while we are disappointed in the outcome, we respect the jury decision and thank them for their service. Oh, go fuck yourself. I also want to recognize and thank the investigators and prosecution team for their dedicated efforts in seeking truth and justice in the case. Go fuck yourself, dude. You're paid off. You're fucking paid off. This is transparent. Describe the efforts to corroborate the Steele dossier, which ultimately came up empty. Really, did they? Jurors were shown portions of Steele's memos, which he had previously said weren't ever meant to become public. Yeah. Sure. The dossier's primary allegation that there was a well-developed conspiracy of cooperation between Donald Trump and the Russians repeatedly came out throughout the proceeding. Durham also used the case to put the FBI on trial, and that would be a preview of upcoming final report. He zeroed in the shortcomings and errors of the early Trump-Russia probe, especially the Bureau's over-reliance on the dossier to propel forward some key parts of their burgeoning inquiry. They scrutinized him as a counterintelligence threat, but later paid him as an informant. This is so dirty. They paid Danchenko as an informant. Durham pressed Danchenko's FBI handler about the possibility that he was a Russian spy. To the contrary, the witness said Danchenko was a treasured FBI informant and suggested that Durham has hurt U.S. national security by indicting him. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's dirty. This is dirty ball, baby, and it's not cool. How the fuck this guy gets off, I have no idea. Just by the simple fact he says, I didn't mean this to be public. What the fuck's up with that? And what did the Hillary campaign have to do with this shit? Because I remember that they had something to do with it. Do you remember? You're an avid Fox News watcher. What is Tucker saying about it? It's dirty. There's dirtiness all over the place. Do you remember something like that?
Yeah. Whenever shit's this confusing, you know something stinks.
Something stinks.
Yeah.
Something stinks. And, on both sides. And here's the thing, man. It's very sad. It's like, people's politics is mostly their culture. I've noticed that. It's like, when you're hanging out with your family, and if your family's all one way, you don't want to be the one guy who's, it's like usually nobody thinks for themselves and shit. You talk to any of those people about this, you talk to any people who hate Trump about specific policies that were good, they're not even listening because they hate Trump, right? Nobody gets into that shit. You speak to people who hate Biden and call him Hitler, and you talk about some of the good things he's done, right? And they call him Hitler, right? They're both Hitlers to everybody. Nobody's a human being, and nobody thinks for themselves, and everyone just roots for these fucking politicians like it's their baseball team. I mean, might as well have a fucking MAGA hat on instead of a Pittsburgh Steelers hat. It's the same shit. You're rooting for them. But it's not baseball. These are human beings trying to do a job. They do some things good, some things bad sometimes. But you're not even educated on the particular issues, and you won't allow yourself to see the particular issues because, God forbid, as a liberal, you say Donald Trump had a good policy at the border, which now it seems like Biden is employing. God forbid you say Donald Trump maybe had some good points about how we need to be energy independent, or maybe how he said Germany better learn how to become energy independent from Russia. That's a bad. God forbid he say that, because remember, he was Putin's bitch, and that was all you could understand because you were listening to fucking left-wing talking points through the media. That's true. What I'm saying is true. And then on the flip side, God forbid there's any merit to Biden wanting to beef up the IRS in order to track down some of these offshore fucking shell accounts. God forbid there's some merit to that, right? God forbid that would be some merit to that would actually help your fucking community. God forbid. No, you're just going to say to me, Yanni, you know why he's doing that? He's going to come after you. He's going to come after small content creators, and audit them. Guess what? I don't fuck around with my taxes because my dad also told me, don't ever fucking fuck around on your taxes and take care of your teeth. My dad ended up spending like $300,000 in his teeth. Because he went in Korea, he wasn't brushing them, and he smoked like a fucking chimney. And he lived till 91. So don't believe the liberals. Smoking's good for you. God. I go into these and I say, Yanni, stay away from the long day. Stay away from the long day. Stay away from the long day. But it's like asking a fox not to fucking sniff out a mouse. I can't change my nature. It's got to get in there at one point. But I think this episode's good that we put it in the back and not the beginning. Because I think 2 episodes we put it at the beginning, and I think we lost a lot of people. And that's why the numbers are that. But we went all comedy, and then we gave a little long day, and then we'll end with a little fucking frosting. We'll give you a little frosting on top. We'll end with something. James Corden, the greatest comedian of our era. He's like the Jackie Gleason. You go back and you watch The Honeymooners. You go back and you watch the Jackie Gleason show. You go back and you read the autobiography of Jackie Gleason, how he used to go to rooms in Jersey and just fucking make it shake with laughter. And I say, that's like James Corden and his show. What's the difference between fucking Carpool Karaoke and Honeymooners? To me, it's tomato. As far as quality comedic entertainment, thank God we brought him to our country because we didn't have enough fucking less than mediocre fat guys who could sit in a car and sing Lady Gaga's song while she's in it, but they're both not singing. Thank God we had to outsource for that. We couldn't give that show to fucking Lil Rel. We couldn't give it to
John Gabers.
We couldn't give it to Talent, the father. Not saying the kid's young. We couldn't give it to Leonard Oots. That's a funny fat kid. One time he featured for me in Providence and he buried me, so I went up and bombed as a headliner. I didn't like that. He's a fat kid with big eyes and he's funny as fuck. I love that kid. But I didn't like that he fucking buried me in fucking Providence. And then he tweeted, the owner said, next time you're headlining. I didn't like that.
Ouch.
We couldn't give the show to fucking Leonard Oots. You know? We had to go to England and get James Corden. That makes me a conspiracy theorist. That makes me think there's some sort of Illuminati or something where they're eating, adrenochrome or something. Like, what is the explanation? I don't understand. I do not understand. What does James Corden do that he got that job over the amount of American comedians? This is America, dog. You don't go to England and there's like 2 shows that have American comedians. The Daily Show and another late night show. And John Oliver. It's like, why? We don't have American comedians? Wow, I'm sounding like a real fucking immigration right-winger on comedians.
Yeah.
Keep these fucking undocumented clowns out of my fucking country. So supposedly James Corden is a fucking dick, according to the owner or general manager of Balthazar, which was a really hot restaurant when Liv Tyler was 19. It's a long time ago, dog. Shit in New York has a fucking very short shelf life of being a trendy spot.
Yeah.
I remember when Odeon was the spot. Remember, like in the 80s, Odeon, you'd be like, oh, all the artists are hanging out at Odeon. It was like the cool fucking spot. People were doing coke. You know, now Odeon is just like a diner. You go in there, the waiter just comes up and goes, hello, I'm just from Bangladesh yesterday. I didn't want to do the voice because I didn't want Hari Kondabolu to sue me.
Yeah, it would have been bad.
You know? Odeon's no longer. Balthazar was hot. I'm talking about late 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, Balthazar was a spot. Now nobody gives a shit.
Restaurants in New York are like women in Hollywood.
Quick turnover. Very good comparison. They really are. You have like a little window to be hot, and then, La Esquina, I remember that was a hot spot. Ooh, it was like a fucking taco spot, but then you open a little secret door and you go downstairs and you're in a club, and you're fucking in a club, you know what I mean? And there's Rich Akiva, and you're like, what's up, Rich? Yeah, bye. Where's Pete Diddy? Oh, shit, Jay-Z. Bang, 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 bang. Models. You know? And now Balthazar is arguing with fat James Corden, who apologized profusely. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry. So supposedly he was a dick to the staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I read something that there was a hair in his salad or something, and he got upset.
Yeah, reportedly there was a hair in his salad, and then this is not the first time he was mean to the staff. There was another time he ordered French fries, and salad came instead, so we got mad at that.
He got mad at that. You do not. If a fat guy orders French fries and you send a salad, I side with the fat guy.
Yeah, but you don't want to go healthy. You want to go less healthy if you mess up the order. So if he orders unhealthy food, you got to go. If the food order's wrong, you got to go more unhealthy.
Right.
Yes,
'Cause
Yeah.
because that would have been happy if you sent him a double cheeseburger. He'd be
Yeah.
like, all right,
Right.
I'll let it slide
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
I don't want to inconvenience the workers. I guess destiny wanted me to have another double cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Big surprise. He's a dick. I often find that the people who appear to be the least dicky are, like in public, are usually the most dicky in private.
It's a balance.
Yeah. It's very rare that you'll find someone who will openly admit that they're coarse, and then privately you're like, yeah, he wasn't lying. You know? It's very rare, you know? Very rare you find honest people like that. A lot of these people try to hide, I'm such a good person. It's part of their persona. And the reason they do that in a lot of ways is, I think sometimes is because they rely on that nice guy thing as part of what they're selling, you know? The most talented people who have like natural raw talent don't have to do that. Everyone knew John Belushi was a fucking mess. Everyone knew Chris Farley was a fucking mess, you know? You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that he's a monster. You know, every time I saw him on his show, be just like super nice. I knew, oh God, he's a monster. You know, it's like, I love Jimmy Fallon too, but you know just how much he laughs at, like, he's got to sit there like Jay Leno and do the, are you driving thing? You know, he just slams at Jameson when he's done and takes his dick out and bats it against a fucking wall. You know, he just did. For every action, there's an equal but opposite. You can only take so much obsequiousness before you lose it. You can only pretend for so long before you just you lose it. You know, you can't tell me that there's some NBC pages over there at Rockefeller Center that don't have some stories to tell about Jimmy Fallon's Coke drink binges after the last show on Friday night. Be like, yeah, look, sometimes he just, you know, and I bet you it's after like a few like really, really like Nickelodeon type guests where he just loses it, you know? He's like sitting there and he's interviewing like one of the actresses from Euphoria. And he's just sitting there and he's going, you driving? You driving? He's doing the Jay Leno thing. Are you driving? That's real good. Yeah. Oh my God, so what's it like? You got a girlfriend? Yeah. Tell me it's all these prepaid, you know, they're all pre-planned bits that he's got to hear. Like they come in, we can do this story. He probably looks at them and goes, Jesus Christ. I remember when I used to fucking be around Chris Farley and Adam Sandler. Now I got to sit through fucking this bitch from Euphoria talk about how her parents pushed her into acting. Or what she thinks is a funny story about one time she ordered chocolate covered strawberries and they didn't come and she had something snarky to say. I got to sit through that. And he goes, oh God, when these people, these tourists walk out of the studio, I'm going into my fucking little lair and I'm whipping out my goddamn Jameson. I'm putting one bottle in my asshole and one in my mouth. And I'm taking turns between standing upright and doing a handstand to get this booze in my body, baby. And then we're calling up my secret contact. I'm getting some blow. I'm calling up Julio. He's biking down. And I'm getting on the phone with a madam. And we're having a whore party at NBC Studios. And then I'll be fine Monday morning. I'll come in. Are you driving? What's up, everybody? I want to give a little shout out to our small business sponsors over at patreon.com/Yanni Longdays. Hello to Wendy Ordonez. ¿Qué pasa, muchacha? All right, what does she got for us? Oh, this is very cool. The holidays are almost here. And if you want to get a special gift for someone special, now these are really cool. If you do this for somebody, it really shows like care. It shows like you put some thought into it. It's not like you get the run of them. Here's some socks. Hit up Wendy Ordonez. What does she do? She hand paints oil canvases, portraits. She's a Miami-based artist, and you can check out her work at Wendy. X Amena Studio. What is that? Wendy
XIMENA Studio.com.
Wendy Eczema Studio. Wendy, you're putting it up right here, right? Yeah. There you go, right there. Go to this website, Wendy Zimena. That's what it is. Is that, how do you pronounce eczema? How do you pronounce that?
Eczema.
Well, I'm having trouble with that word. What do you see?
I say
Wendy Eczema. Wendy Eczema.
Zemena.
Yeah. WendyZemena.com. Here it is right here. You can. Oh, it's spelled out Zemena. So WendyZemenaStudio.com. There we solved it. And if I just would have read on, I would have got it. And find everything you need to know about the process of her work. It's very cool. I checked it out. This is a great gift. She's going to make one for us. So make this holiday truly special and go commission your portrait here from her. Support her and also get somebody a really cool gift or some really nice art for your crib. You won't be able to find something like this in a retail store, guys. This is what I love. Okay, so message Wendy directly. Ask her for her 10% long day discount. Ooh, nice. Yes. So again, visit this website. Go check it out and hit her up. We're also brought to you by my faves, Brooklyn Cannery, brooklyncannery.com. Get rid of those shit sodas and get yourself all natural sweetener. Take a look at Jared right there drinking that's my fave, ginger beer. Actually, I had my girl's 2-year-old birthday party last weekend, and I had a little Moscow Mule with a ginger beer that I made myself in one of those little nice metal cups.
Look at you, sophisticated dad.
Yes. So promo code Yannis Pappas for 15% off. That's very nice that they do that for you guys. So brooklyncannery.com. Go check out all their sodas and keep your feet. Longshore Coffee. Please send the coffee. Where does he send it to? You are here. I'm running low on coffee. Longshorecoffee.com. He's got all types of roasts, dark roast, light roast, medium roast, all types of roasts and blends. Check out Longshore Coffee, our favorite small batch coffee roastery. The coffee is absolutely high quality and delicious. And I know because I dream about the cup of coffee I'm going to drink in the morning at night. That's how much it makes me happy. And I've been drinking Longshore now since he's been with us. So go to longshorecoffee.com. Use the promo code FUMES at checkout. You get 15% off. So this is the coffee you drink if you listen to this podcast. Nate Linder. Whether you need more brand awareness, better leads, or more online sales, Nate has your back. Nate thrives in helping home service companies, e-commerce companies, and B2B companies drive more sales at the lowest possible cost. Everyone needs a Nate Linder in their life. It's about time you start making money online, everybody, okay? And Nate wants to make your company his next success story. So reach out to Nate and tell him Longdays sent you for a free consultation. He's offering a free consultation. So any of these fucking business sponsors or anyone else who listens to this podcast who's trying to monetize or trying to work online or has an online arm of their, business or whatever it is, go to natelinder.com or follow him on Instagram and hit him up, Nate_Linder. Chris Minetti, you can only find out about Minetti Financial Services from this podcast or word of mouth on the streets of South Jersey and Philly. It's the only way.
Pending IRS investigation.
Or that. That's it. I think his case was up next after the Steele dossiers. We joke. Call Chris 215-750-3730. He'll cash your check. All right, if you're in Philly or South Jersey, he will cash your fucking check. You walk in with the check, you walk out with money. That's how Chris Minetti does it. He takes the check and hands you dollar bills, yo. Aaron Leaf for the free .art. They started live shows again in Hawaii. You can find out about all the bands from Hawaii, the free shows, the free music by local artists. Go check them out. It's an absolutely great website to peruse. If you're visiting Hawaii, if you're taking vacation there, or if you're interested in music and you want to find out about some bands, go check out forthefree.art. And of course, exclusiveautoshipping.com. Okay? Exclusiveautoshipping.com. If you're moving your car anywhere in the goddamn world, get your free quote from exclusiveautoshipping.com. They'll take your car and they'll move it wherever you're moving, whatever. Hit them up, exclusiveautoshipping.com.
It's been a long